Hi everyone, in this video I'm gonna show you how to install and use Pure Data, and also how to configure Pure Data and how to install and use external libraries. We can just start by searching what the hell is Pure Data. Here we find this PD community site, which is a large website with lots of information that surrounds Pure Data. And here we find the feature downloads. We have two different versions of PD. This is the official one, we also known as PD Vanilla, which is developed by Miller Puckett. You can click here, let's just wait, and find the latest version for download here. Oh, it's a little slow, here we go. We're at 0.490, okay? But actually in Miller's website, we can just go there by clicking here. There's also a link here. We may find, well, this website is really up to date, but sometimes, which is the case today, there might be a little out of date. So here we have the Pure Data project. Oops, nope, sorry, wrong link. Pure Data, download Pure Data. Okay, now here we have a fix that came out like 2 days ago. And so it's not up to date there yet on the Pure Data community site. And this is what I need actually, because this is a fix that only affects Mac OS, and this is what I have, so I need to come here. So you may always, come here and check if there's something new. And there's also a list of all the old versions here, which is pretty cool, even the test versions and everything. And you don't have to, I don't know if you have the older versions over there, sorry. Okay, so let's just click and install here. The other versions, if you're using Linux or Windows, you're still fine with 0. Okay, so for Mac, I just need to drag here and let's see. I have the other versions of the other forks of Pure Data here. PD extended, this is dead already. The last version is from 2013. And PD L2org is actually based on PD extended. It's quite new, it's quite active in development, but we're just gonna focus on PD Vanilla here. Okay, macOS is a little annoying these days. It really asks you if you want to open. You're probably aware of that. So here we have PD, and the first thing it does, it just asks you if you want to create a folder in your documents folder for your users on PD, okay? This is actually something new from PD 0.48, and it's a new way on how to manage externals. Let's just say yes. I'll just go here and see. Documents PD, there it is, it created, and it also created this subfolder for externals, okay? Now let's just see what we have here. At the PD preferences, there's this path. Oh, sorry, this is something from previous versions that I had. This is what you should have, okay? Because, this is not the first time I'm using PD, so it still carries some old configurations if you install new versions, okay? This is what you should have. So here's your external folders. And this is the search path. This is where PD searches for external files, not only external objects, but also media files, whatever you need, okay? So, okay. I also have some configurations here on the startup, okay? This is actually from previous version that I had. I like using a font size of 12. You should have an empty space here, right? And I'm using font weight bold because I just want this to be also the same as Windows and Linux, because by default Mac is not bold, it's just normal font. Let's just, I don't know, open some example here, whatever. Audio examples, here we go. This is bold, okay? This is how it should look in Windows and Linux. But I don't really like this, maybe because I'm a Mac user, not being grown accustomed by of normal font. But if you want to try it in Windows and Linux, you can just do this and go font weight normal, and next time you open PD, you'll have a normal font, not bold. Let's see. I'll just use the same example. That's right. Yep. Okay, now if you're reading lots of text, I think it's easier on the eye. And since I'm also gonna show you my tutorial, which has lots and lots of text, I just prefer that. But some people are used to just, because it also affects the font inside objects and everything, okay? This is some basic configuration. The normal font for PD is 10, but I maybe should start wearing glasses or something, but I like 12 better. And the examples in my tutorial are also all font 12. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna install library, okay? And you can do this directly from PD. Many external libraries are available here. Just go find externals and go for it. This is a plugin which came in around PD 046. Is also known as Deacon, and the library I want you to install is else, which is a library that I'm developing and that I use in my tutorial. Okay. One thing you could do first is just check here the preferences. Something that I could suggest you to do is check on this box here. Should new install libraries be added to PD search path? If you go like this, it will ask you, every time you download it, it will ask you if you want to add it or not. If you go like this with the checkbox, it will certainly, add it for you, and this will not do anything. You just have to do it manually. I'll just go like this and let's see how it goes. So search. This is how it works. It will give you now it's this version that I have up there, which is be it 1.0 beta 13. Just click on it. It'll ask you, okay, you want to move it to that folder here, and just say yes. But you can configure this if you want. But this is just for newbies. I'll just go and probably advanced users are not even watching this. So this is really for somebody who's just. Okay, now this is the question, okay? With that box that we check here, it will ask you if you want to add it to your search path. I'll just say no. And what happens? This is, if you set yes, it will just give you that path here, okay? I did not, so what happens? Here's the library, you download it. Now let's just see one of these objects here. I'll try to do it, because now I want to show you different ways of loading externals. So just open some new patch, and you can just go here and add an object. Say you want these ADSR. It didn't find. Now if this path was added here, it would. So now it doesn't. One thing you can do, some people like doing that, is you just give this is what I call namespace. Just give the folder name here. So it's actually looking here because this one is actually there, okay? This is a search path. So inside, you can just tell it to look inside a subfolder named else, and then it finds the object, okay? Now this only happens because this library in particular has all these separate binaries, one for each object. Okay, so here's a binary for the compiled object for macOS. It has this extension. Windows, the extension is .dll. And well, this library also has abstractions. Let me see if I can find an abstraction here. Well, okay. Like this one. What is an abstraction? It's a PD file, a PD patch that it can load as an object. So you may want to do this and work like that. Some people like doing that. I don't really like it. I like to edit here. You can also do it manually. And this is how you do it. Just call a new path. I'll just go there and do what I could have done automatically. Okay, it's up there. Now I can try and find another one. Let's see this one. Ask bank. It finds, okay? Now I don't need this namespace anymore. Okay, now I'm gonna show you how to use the declare object. So say you do not want to add any path here. You can still manage and add a path with the declare object. So say, this is just I just created the declare object to show you its help file. It's been updated for 0.49, so what I'm gonna do here does not work in earlier versions. Ooh, wrong name. So I'll try to create an object here from the else library. Doesn't work, but I can come here and then add a path, and the else subfolder now is loaded, and I can just try and recreate this object, sorry, and here we go. And I can try to load another object from this library in another patch, say ask bank. Oops, doesn't work. Okay, so this only loads for this patch. I would need to come here and then do declare path. So this is another option that you can have to manage how this is good for advanced users that have many libraries, and it gives you an option to not, because where's the problem? Some external libraries may have objects with the same name. This is one thing, so you want to make sure that this one calls object X from this library instead of another, things like that. Now let's install another library. This is gonna work quite differently. Here's the Cyclone library. Cyclone clones objects from MaxMSP. I'm also working on the maintenance along with Derek Kwan and Matt Barber. Let's download this one, see what happens. You want to install to this place? Yep. One moment, let us load. Here's the temporary zipped file. Okay, now it asks you if you want to load it, add it to your search paths, and I'm gonna say no because we don't need it for this one. This is a little different. Well, this one has only separate binaries and abstraction. Cyclone, it also has that for the most part, but it does have the Cyclone object, which is actually a binary pack. Here it is. Okay. So what is a binary pack? It packs different objects into a single binary, and you can load it here in the startup like this. So PD libraries to load on startup. So this, what does it do? When you start PD, it will load. Okay, I have to restart PD and we'll show you how it works. And then I'm gonna show you how to use declare. Okay, this is telling us that this library has been loaded, and it's doing a couple of things. First is that it's loading all of these objects. These are objects with non-alphanumeric characters. So this is why we actually need a library as a binary pack. But it also adds the path for us, okay? So this is cool, because now if you want to go here to the path, it already did it for us. This is just a convenience, so you just have to do one thing instead of doing two things. So it's, you know, just making it easy for you. So the official way of installing and using Cyclone is as a library, as a binary pack. Some libraries out there will have actually all the objects into a single binary pack. Cyclone is different, it's hybrid, okay? And we can just test this. I'll just use one of these weird character. Oops, I have a new keyboard here, sorry. And okay, help. Funny thing about this objects is that they have aliases. This one you can also load as plus equals. And here's another thing which is particular about Cyclone is that you can use a namespace for these objects that are loaded as a binary pack. This is unusual for PD libraries. We actually use a little trick here, so we can also, this is actually an alias as well. You know, as a standard, all of these help files also in the else library, I'm always using namespaces, okay? And it kind of forces you it to load this particular object. Maybe you have another ADSR or, sorry, object from another library, as there is actually, I know from Eric Leon's, there's one. So, you know, it just forces you to load this one. And with these objects here as well, you know, there's one like this, the greater than in Xexi. So if you do this, you still need to have the Cyclone library loaded, but you know, it's one way to force and use this object from Cyclone instead of Xexi's. Sorry if just too much information, maybe. Yeah, this is a good example because it's kind of a complex one. It's hybrid, you know, it has binary pack and also separate files. But here it is, and you can just call objects without namespaces because the path has already been added for us. But I'll show you how to use now the declare object instead. We can do that too. For that, I'm just gonna delete this and restart PD. So when we do load it in the startup, you know, every time we load PD, we have the Cyclone library loaded. Maybe you don't want to do that, and then you can just use declare as well, like we did before. But now we do not use path. We use the lib flag. And then I can call Cyclone, and there we go. It just loaded the library, and all the objects are now working. Okay? Let's just try and recap here. You can use something like this with namespaces if you did not have this library loaded in the path, which is the case here. You can use declare and path to do it. And if you do this and just add the path, it will always load it for you. And then you don't need to bother using namespaces anymore. How do? I just, you know, I like having them. I'm only using this couple of libraries, so I don't really have problems managing many externals or anything. So I just do a simple setup. When I load I always load Cyclone here in the startup. I don't really use declare. That's it. Okay, declare is mostly for people with complex setups and everything, but it's a good practice if you are sharing your patches. People will see and, oh, this one uses this library, so I maybe should try and get it. And then you do it. Okay, thanks for watching. Next, I'm gonna show you how to install and start checking out my tutorial. Thank you.